Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. It's September 13th, 2012. I'm Gretchen Carlson. We begin with a Fox News alert for you. Chaos breaking out throughout the Middle East this morning, a day after that deadly attack in Libya, Benghazi. 4 Americans dead, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens. U.S. Embassy in Yemen now secure, but hundreds of protesters and demonstrators stormed the building. This video shows that earlier this morning. They were chanting "Death to America" as they ripped down the American flag and set it on fire. Minutes ago, senior White House officials delivering this statement, quote, "The Yemeni government is working with us to maintain order and protect our facilities and people."
All of this happening while clashes continue in Egypt. Here's a live look in Cairo right now. Let's watch together. Protesters are filling the streets. It looks about the same as it did a half hour ago. Yep. Police have been using tear gas to disperse thousands of protesters. They're pretty good at breaking up protests if they want to. Riots also breaking out in Tunisia, where dozens of protesters reportedly burned American flags. I think we can confirm that. Outside the U.S. Embassy, there's been speculation that these clashes are in response to an American producer's anti-Muslim movie. By the way, a producer we can't find now. But intelligence officers think it's a possibility that this was linked to the 11th anniversary of 9/11.
We have live team Fox coverage this morning. Wendell Guller is live at the State Department again this morning, but we start with Greg Palcott live in London. He's been monitoring the new protests breaking out this morning. Greg, tell us.
Hey, Steve, Brian, Gretchen. Yeah, it has been a busy morning here. Let's first go to that yet another U.S. embassy under attack. That is in the Yemeni capital of Sana'a. I am told that things are calm now, but they weren't calm this morning. Thousands of protesters managed to get in front of the embassy, and some of them were able to scale the perimeter walls, break through the main gate, enter the security building. We've been there. It's a pretty strong building, but they entered that and then got into the main compound in front of the embassy. They torched cars, they smashed windows, they stole equipment before a strong Yemeni security force was able to get in there and fight them back. Again, it is calm now, I am told, but I'm also told, unconfirmed, that most of the U.S. staffers in the embassy have been evacuated to a safer place. Yemen, of course, home to one of the most dangerous branches of the al-Qaeda terror network. Now, over in Cairo, as Brian noted, in Egypt, a third day of protest near the U.S. Embassy, police clashing with protesters there. I am told by sources inside the embassy that the embassy itself is calm, that is, security keeping the folks away. Of course, on Tuesday we saw those dramatic scenes of protesters scaling the walls. Believed to be a motivating factor, as we noted, that anti-Muslim movie, also al-Qaeda links, as we've seen also in Benghazi, in the U.S. consulate there, which left the deadly scene of 4 people killed, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens. His body, others injured, now being treated in a Germany U.S. military medical hospital. Back to you.
All right, Greg Palcott, thanks. 3 minutes now after the hour. Moments ago, the White House weighed in on this morning's violent outbursts in Yemen, saying it will continue to support the United States mission there. Yemen is a hotbed for terrorists in training. So the question this morning, could this be part of a larger plot planned for the marking the 9/11 attacks? Fox News senior White House and Foreign Affairs correspondent Wendell Guller is live at the State Department with more. Wendell, that place must be white hot today.
Well, it is, Brian, and officials say the Benghazi attack was complex and well planned, and not just the protest that spiraled out of control, as Libyan authorities first portrayed it. As House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Rogers of Michigan put it, this was not just some guys who had guns in the garage and said, let's go shoot up the consulate. Now, Libya's government hasn't been able to disarm the militias that overthrew Muammar Gaddafi, and that's a problem because security at diplomatic installations is mainly the responsibility of the host country. It's still not clear that the anti-Islam film that sparked protests in Egypt and today in Yemen was behind the Benghazi attack. In Sana'a, Yemen, protesters smashed windows, hauled down and burned the American flag. They didn't actually enter the embassy building. Yesterday, Secretary of State Clinton rejected the idea that the anti-Islam film justified violent behavior.
Some have sought to justify this vicious behavior along with the protest that took place at our embassy in Cairo yesterday as a response to inflammatory material posted on the internet. America's commitment to religious tolerance goes back to the very beginning of our nation. But let me be clear, There is no justification for this. None.
The U.S. consulate in Benghazi doesn't have a marine detachment like the embassy in Tripoli. It's essentially a group of houses and an annex. U.S. officials say Libyan security forces and at least one of the Libyan militias eventually joined the fight against the attackers, so they don't think there was any complicity by the Libyan government. Officials say they're also getting good cooperation from the government of Yemen, which is working to protect the embassy and its workers, and there may be more than the film behind the protests today in Yemen. Remember, the #2 leader of al-Qaeda was killed there earlier this week. Brian, Steve, Gretchen?
Wendell Guller live. Thanks so much for that.